And good morning. Welcome to Coach's Corner. And I might have to bring back the name Coffee with the Coaches here. And so we're going to be back in the mornings. And I'm sure some of these coaches are going to expect some pastries, so I might have to bring donuts too. But welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highlighter Activity Network. And starting fresh on this Thursday morning, a new day, new time for Coach's Corner. And we're going to kick things off here this morning with tennis, boys tennis, and Coach Matt Nielsen joining us. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Fantastic. Now you're ready to teach, so you're in that mode already.
Yep, I got some kids coming in at 7:45 to get a little extra help, and then got a full day of teaching, followed by our home opener against South today.
Oh, we'll get to that home opener with South. I'm busy next couple of days for you guys, as a matter of fact. But let's step back. A couple of matches so far. Shanley, the last time out, a 6-3 loss, but we were Davies before that.
Yep. So we had Fargo Davies, and in that match we played some excellent doubles, and Miles Taylor and Kellen Westman looked almost like doubles champs in the first set. They were on fire, and it was awesome to see. And we got that match, and we barely lost in that match. We had a super tiebreak to win it. Didn't make it, but we had a 4-5 loss to Davies, and we've never been that close to Davies ever. So that was pretty awesome. And then against Shanley, we did come out slow in the doubles. We did talk yesterday about how do we make sure we're ready and we start fast, and how do we make sure our practices mimic what we're going to do at a match, and how our warm-ups mimic what we do in a match. And after that talk yesterday, we had the best practice so far this season. So I hope that's an omen for things to come today with Fargo South. But yeah, that Shanley match, we came out slow in the doubles, but in the singles, we clipped 3 of the 6 matches, and we had match points at a 4th one. So we almost had 4 out of 6 singles matches, and we're usually typically stronger doubles teams, stronger doubles a team. And so to get 3 out of the 6, almost 4 out of the 6 was pretty great for the guys.
Any surprises for you as far as guys maybe are playing a little bit better, you thought? Because I know we're talking about a young team, not inexperienced. These guys have played a lot of tennis, but a fairly young team. Any surprises yet?
Miles Taylor last year did not have an EDC win at number 1 singles. And I mean, it's very tough to win at 1. He's currently 2-0 with wins over Shanley and Davies, which is pretty awesome. So Miles has really stepped that up. Yesterday, on Tuesday, I should say, Tuesday when we played Shanley, Noah Tulp was down a set, and he was down 0-5. Like, he loses one more game out of the next. He loses the match. He comes back, gets it to 5-5, wins the second set tiebreak, and then in the super tiebreak, he wins it 10-1 in the super tiebreak. And the big thing he did was his opponent was fairly fresh to tennis, but Noah quit trying to win points. Noah just hit the ball back in, and I keep telling the guys, tennis is a game of errors. Sometimes all you got to do is get the ball back in, and Noah just kept doing that. And I mean, his match extended so long that the younger JV kids were a little disappointed we didn't get to the food court because we ended so late. They were closed, but because Noah just kept getting the ball in, long points, but he ended up winning them and came back from an 0-5 deficit. And we say in tennis, it's just like baseball. Until that final out is recorded, someone can still come back. And in tennis, you can be down 0-5. There's no time. So if you just keep winning game after game after game, you can come back and win a match. And Noah just did just that. And
when you said that, what was going through my head is, I know there's this axiom in baseball: if you put the ball in play, something's going to happen, and that's what he was doing. He was getting it. He was just making sure the ball was in play, and then eventually the other guy may make a mistake or something like that. Or
Noah could get a short ball and come to the net, but he never forced it. He just played it cool the whole time. Just got the ball back in play, made the smart play, and I'm like, that's how you play it. And in boys and girls tennis, if you're numbers 3 through 6, your best friend is getting the ball back in play. Doesn't matter what it is. I mean, at 1 and 2. You got some better players where if you just get the ball back and play, you're going to get punished. You got to actually do something with it. But a lot of times at 3 through 6, getting the ball back and play is your best friend.
Well, now you've got Fargo South, the home opener here today. Looks like you're going to have an absolutely gorgeous day.
Should be a great day, great temperatures, and Kyle Christensen, their coach, is a great guy, great coach, and they're fun to play against. Last year we lost to him 5-4 in the regular season, and in the play-in match we lost to him 3-2 and lost a third setter last match out to end our team season. So our guys are itching to see how we can do against them, and we've had 2 competitive matches. We lost 0-9 to both Shanley and Davies last year, and this year we lose 5-4, 3-6. So I mean got a lot of improvement. So hopefully today we can have an excellent competitive match. South didn't graduate anybody just like we didn't. So it's not going to be like, oh, we're going to come in and win this one. Nope, we're going to have to earn it, and I hope it's going to be extremely tight and competitive and a lot of fun.
Is that something, too, that these guys, because you had some, you knew you improved from last year to this year, that if you had close masters last year, you're thinking, hey, this year we could probably turn that table around.
And I think we can, and the guys can't think about it, though, because as soon as you think you're going to win a match is the time that you're going to now start tightening up and making errors. So you can't ever think like, oh, I should win this match. And we talked about that in warm-ups, that a lot of times you're hitting against somebody, and you're like, oh, their strokes are pretty ugly, or, oh, jeepers, they're kind of hitting the ball out. I should win this match. That is the worst thing that go through your head is, I should win this match. Nope. Everybody deserves respect the whole time. Match isn't over till it's over. You got to figure out a way to win. So don't think you should win. Just play each point.
And okay, you got that, and then you do have Minot tomorrow, a little non-conference with a Western team.
Yep, and we go up to Minot for the girls, and they kind of reciprocate and come back down for the boys' season. So tomorrow, Minot's going to come play us at 3 o'clock at home, and then they're going to go on to Fargo and play 2 matches on Saturday in Fargo, because I think it was about 3 years ago, Minot was undefeated out west and kind of put the shellacking on everybody. And then they come here and they lose in the first round, and it was an all EDC semifinal. Okay. And they said, nope, we need to hit the East early, so that way we know what they're about and we can keep going. Because I mean, it's pretty tough to keep your team up and have excellent practices if you just beat everybody pretty good. But when you have some good East teams, so now he comes through every year, plays us, and then plays 2 Fargo schools. And we're going to play, he's bringing 12 guys, and we're going to play 2 varsity formats. So we'll play a varsity format, so it'd be a 6-3. But then our next 6, we're going to play another varsity format, which won't count towards our record, but it'll be excellent for our numbers 7 through 12. Right. That it's not just a JV match. You're going in the book. Right. At the end, we're going to say, you won 7-2 or you lost 3-6. Like, it's going to be an actual scoring. So I think those are like our John Koenigs and our Connor Liebersbachs. I mean, they're good players, but haven't made the varsity lineup, so that'll be their first time. Like, hey, your match counts towards the team score, and we're going to win or lose this one, and you got to be a part of it. So it's going to be a lot of fun against Minot. And that's at 3 o'clock tomorrow, so plenty of time to get that, watch a full day of tennis, and then head over to the football game. Yep, and that was the kind of the point when he said 3 o'clock. I looked at the home football game, and I'm like, yep, if we start at 3, we should have them done before 10 or before the football game, and then we can all go enjoy our home opener for the football game. All right. Well, it's again Fargo South tonight, so head over to the North Courts. That's a 3 o'clock start as well. No, 4 o'clock today. 4 o'clock. 3 o'clock tomorrow. 3 o'clock tomorrow. So 4 o'clock today, the Fargo South Bruins are going to take on the Highlander boys, and then tomorrow at 3 o'clock, Minot coming in. And is the strength in the East or West in boys tennis? Where would you say the strength is this year? Well, Red River and Cheyenne are the favorites, I think, in the state. So we got 2 in the East that are favorites. Central is still extremely good. So we got 3, and then Minot out West, I think, is still the team to beat out West. Just like the girls. Yep. The Minot's got tennis there, but now Valley City's making a name for themselves in boys and girls tennis, too. Appreciate it. Matt, have a good one, and thanks again. Thank you. You bet. Matt Nielsen joining us, Highlander boys tennis, again, 4 o'clock today at the North Courts against Fargo South, and then tomorrow, 3 o'clock against the Minot Magicians in the North Courts for boys tennis. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network.
Back here in Coach's Corner, we're going to be joined by volleyball coach Cynthia Clabo coming up here in just a few minutes. Deb Bilke, our cross-country coach, will be joining us along with Coach Travis Engen from Highlander Football a little bit later on in the show. But just what's coming up here, of course, football tomorrow night, the home opener for Valley City at 7 o'clock as they take on Devils Lake. And again, if you want to find out where you can find us, how you can watch us, well, you're doing it right now, so obviously you know. But if you want to tell people how they can find us, just go to YouTube. And you can search Valley City Highlander Activities or Valley City Highlander Activity Network, and that'll take you to our YouTube page. And there we have archived events, stuff that we've done last year, stuff that we've already done this year, and also a schedule of what is coming up for Highlander activities. I know Highlander junior high football, they're going to be playing tonight against Devils Lake at 4:30 for the 7th graders. 8th graders playing at 5:30. The 7th graders are coming off a 14-6 win against Lisbon here the other night, and so they'll be having their home opener with Devils Lake. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on the Highlander Activity Network, and apparently it's since the NFL starting is Jersey Day today. I wish I knew that. I would have worn one of my Viking jerseys. That's why everybody's wearing their jerseys today. But Coach Cynthia Clabo joining us from the Highlander volleyball team. Game day. Excited?
Yes, very excited. Yeah, we had a good practice yesterday. We went through exactly what we were going to do for warm-up, for playing, and tried different rotations. And so, yeah, we're good. We're excited.
Is it too early to really figure out what you're going to do as far as rotations right now, Coach? And do you want to get about 2-3 matches in before you say, okay, this is going to be our rotation and this is how we know what we're going to do, or you got things pretty much set?
We're a little bit of both right now. Coda was out sick last night, so
yeah.
We had to run a couple different things last night to see just in case if she wasn't going to be here. But I was like, get some rest and get some liquids in. Be better, right?
Yeah.
I think we'll have Bailey in the middle to start, and Georgia will start as libero tonight. Morgan's still there to come in, but we're not 100% like set in stone.
Yeah,
so,
right.
yeah, and they're all good about that. They realize it, and they're just like, we'll play wherever. And seriously, anytime I say go play right side or middle, they just go.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to be able to have that little flexibility as well.
And this is a veteran team, so they
Yes.
know what it's going to take and what they need to do.
Yes, for the most part. I mean, our seniors, they're great going wherever they need. Bailey's mainly the one that's like moving around a little bit. I'm just impressed with a lot of them. We do have some young ones. Katie Birchel's kind of young, so she's still kind of fresh and learning her ways. But yeah, I'm excited to actually play a game. I feel like we've practiced forever.
We're done practicing.
Yes,
We're done practicing. And memory serves, correct me if I'm wrong, like last year, Dakota Poitrats didn't start varsity, but then slowly but surely worked her way in. So now you've got she's going to have a full year.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of, we talked about this last week, the athletes on this team. Are you just excited about the potential that these young ladies could put out there?
Yes, for sure. And just their mental game has gotten much better of just like keeping their heads up, and like if you make a mistake, we think about the next one. And we've really worked a lot on the mental game this year because, well, volleyball's mental, right? Yeah. So you have the skill, but if you don't have the mental part, then the skill goes down. So
is it 90% physical, 90% mental? No, wait a minute. That doesn't work out.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't work out. Just stepping back a little bit, I know some of the youth, junior high played last night with Central Cass, or 2 nights ago, on Tuesday night. And just how about the youth? How about the numbers in your lower grades? Look like that's a pretty good. You're pretty good on there too.
Yeah, they're sitting at about I think 12 or 13 each, which is great. I didn't watch a ton of the 8th grade because my daughter's on the 7th grade. Yep. So I tried to watch a little on the 8th, but the 7th grade, I was pretty impressed. They actually had a lot of pass set hits, like not approaches, but at least they were hitting and it looked like real volleyball, and that's exciting.
And you got Liz Lidtegen and Coach Gregerson, Jessica Gregerson, are coaching your junior highs. And I know junior high, they split, the 8th graders with Central Cass. Won the first match and lost the second match. I saw the scores, some pretty close matches, too. But when you get to that age, are you hoping the fundamentals is where they're learning the fundamentals in that 7th and 8th grade, so when they get up to varsity, they know what they're supposed to do?
100%. That's what we hope, right? But then I don't know where sometimes some of them like lose that fundamentals, whether they're playing just for fun and forget exactly what they're supposed to be doing, or maybe different camps they go to, they learn different types of stuff, and you're like, okay, this is how we want our program to run, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's definitely where you want those fundamentals to be, and the arm swing, and all that kind of stuff. And then once they get up to here, then we just kind of tweak it a little bit. So,
and that's where JO comes in and play too, for those 14Us and the younger kids, the 12Us, the 10Us. That's where they really get that fundamental and that get taught those things.
Yes, for sure. It's a great program to get kids. I mean, experience with different coaches, different ideas, and then the understanding of why people are doing different things. If you only stick with one coach the whole time,
right,
I don't think that's good for an athlete either, because they don't see the different thoughts behind different plays or different reasons of why you do things.
Now, Fargo South tonight, what do you expect out of the Bruins? Or is this we don't care what the Bruins are doing, we're worrying about the Highliners?
Right now we're worrying about the Highliners. I know that they played in Bismarck last weekend and had some good wins, but I'm not so sure about their competition, who they had.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's not really anything on Huddle other than a couple short clips of how they played. But, we're just going to go in and play our game and adjust as we need to.
And having that first match on the road, is that good for a coach? You'd rather be on the road, or would you rather be at home?
I'd rather be on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then come back, tweak everything we need, we have everything ready, and then truly... Because we are away Tuesday, and then we're back Thursday for Devil's Lake. So.
And that'll be the first home match 1 week from tonight on the 12th thing. Brain isn't working this morning. So, but now again, you can watch the match, because I believe Fargo South has a YouTube page. So folks, if they want to follow the Highlanders, maybe go to Fargo. It's only an hour break, and follow the Highlanders. Any expectations, though? Final question for you tonight, for tonight, or is this serve by serve, point by point, match by match type of a philosophy for this very first one?
I feel like that's every game, right? Every set you play should be you fight for every point, right? So if you lose one, you get the next one, right? And you just keep on going each one. That's how every set, in my mind, is, right? Not like look at the whole thing, but let's focus on each one at a time.
All right. Well, the Bruins tonight, first of many. Coach, good luck tonight, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Coach Cynthia Clabo joining us from the Highlander Volleyball League. And 7 o'clock is the varsity and junior varsity before that. And Fargo South does have a YouTube page, so you can watch it on YouTube if you want to look it up and watch there tonight. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network, and now moving into Highlander Cross Country. Coach Deb Bilkey joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you on this fine morning?
Good, thank you.
Did you get a run in already?
No, I am a morning person, though. I do like the mornings.
Okay. Well, we've got here West Fargo. Well, actually, it was West Fargo hosting, but you're in Leonard
Right.
at the Leonard Golf Course for the Ian Albus Invitational here. It looked like overall a real good day for the Highlander runners.
Yeah, according to the conditions, it didn't lead to a very good day. But we didn't, on that meet, we don't look at times because that day, like I said, it wasn't ideal. It felt warm, but it was only in the 70s, low, about 80, which isn't too bad. But then we had winds and hills. But we're used to the hills, so the kids said the hills weren't too bad. But it's a tough course. And I guess what I told the kids, too, is that instead of looking at your time, it was preparing us mentally to be tough and preparing us physically to be tough. It was both conditions just to finish. Yeah.
And is Leonard's Golf Course, you said there's hills, so is it comparable to something have you run there before, or is it comparable to something you've run on?
Yeah, we ran there last year.
Okay.
And yeah, so we were familiar with it, but that's cross country. It's nice to see some hills because some of them are so flat, but when we live in Valley City, we're always having hills. When we do our workouts, we either go right and go downhill when we leave the school, or we go left and we go uphill. Okay. Where a lot of the schools, like especially in Fargo, they find it tough because they have to go find hills because it's so flat there.
Yep.
But it was a good test of endurance for us, and our big picture is to be the strongest and the best towards the end of the season anyway, and this is just one step to getting better.
Greta Govan got a top 5 finish again here, I think 5th place overall for her.
Yeah, she looked strong. She's learning to run a little bit more comfortable. Sometimes if you tense up too much, that's tough on you. But yeah, she had a great race. I would say, they all did. When they finished, they looked exhausted and stuff, but overall, I thought they did really well. She ended up 5th, and then we had her brother. He had a football game at 5:30, so it's only 34 miles between Leonard and Lisbon. So we bumped him up to the 4Ks, so he'd have a little bit more rest in between. And he was the only 7th grader in that race, and it was mostly, high school students, and he ended up 8th. So that kid's got a lot of guts. So, yeah, he did really well. He ended up 8th. We had a lot of, there was probably, about 40 to 50 runners in each. It was a smaller meet. But we had a lot of kids at the top of the races.
And Garrett, he's kind of a tall, kind of a long-legged, a lot like his sisters as far as his strides and the way he runs.
Right, and right now he's splitting his time with football. He likes both the running and the football. And so his training is a little bit more limited, but he's used to working hard and not giving up. That's basically what got him through.
Right. And I think Elijah Drummond led the boys' varsity. He was the top finisher for the boys.
Right, Elijah. We had a couple of athletes that had a little trouble, and they didn't finish. But it's not like other sports where all of a sudden you don't feel well and you can take a time out or take a water break or whatever. They're just out there, and they have to gut it out to finish. But, yeah, Elijah ran another strong race again. He was our top one, and then Simon Trapp ran really well, too. For a little guy like that wind is tough.
Yeah.
He's got to learn. I talked to him afterwards. I said, you ran with 2 big boys. Tuck in behind them. I said, you got to use those big boys to block the wind for you. But, he's an 8th grader. You're going to learn all that as you go along.
And then I think on the girls' side, I want to say this was in the junior high. Camden Kappelman was, I think, your top finisher, and she's been the top finisher the last couple of races.
Yeah, Camden's come along from not running at all, basically during the summer, to our camp and to running very strong. Yeah, and her and Addie Fetch PR'd this year. I mean, to be a second-year athlete and PR, that's huge. Your first year you can PR quite often because you're just learning. But yeah, she came up big and PR'd by like 15 seconds in those conditions. But yeah, Camden was first. Addie was right behind her, not too far. And then shortly after that, Rachel Drummond. Those top three are very competitive, and it's kind of fun to see all those junior high athletes that have never run before.
Right.
All of a sudden surprising themselves and seeing that, oh, wow, I can run a solid 2 miles.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
And the confidence level will really help them as the season progresses.
Oh, absolutely. And what was tough with them, too, is they were the last race.
Okay.
And so with junior high, it's hard for them to stand around all day. So a lot of times they run around the course cheering people on. So they probably put on a couple miles before they even ran their race.
Right.
But it just depends upon the race itself, how they want to run it. A lot of times they'll start with the varsity and work their way down, and sometimes they start with the junior high and work their way up. So
Sure.
You just have to be ready for anything.
Now, next up, it's a duel with Jamestown here, I believe, tomorrow night at Parkhurst.
Yeah, this is the third or fourth year that we've run the duel, which is kind of fun. We have 2 races, but we split them, obviously.
Yeah.
But we'll start at 3 o'clock with the 5K. And we'll put both the boys and the girls in one race. That way there's a few more running because, both teams, we probably both each have 30 to 35 athletes. So, we want to get some runners out there. It's a nice opportunity for them to run the state course again in a smaller meet. And like I said, running a race is sure better than practice. And then after that, we will put all the 3Kers, which will be a JV 3K in there. And then they'll run their race, and then we'll be back in town before basically practice would be done. So.
Okay. And then, of course, they should actually get the game football. Didn't we do that one year? You ran the game football for, I think it was homecoming.
Yeah.
Ran a little relay and brought it for kickoff.
Yeah, we 1 year we ran it all the way from Jamestown for homecoming, and then when several years after that, we played Jamestown over there for their homecoming, and then we went halfway, and then Jamestown's cross-country team brought it the other half.
Okay.
So, yeah, those are fun little events. I see Central Cass and Kindred, I think, are doing that this year.
Sure.
So it's kind of a fun event for them to get them involved with homecoming, but I didn't think we'd really want to run the ball to South, or from South.
From Fargo to, you don't want to go 60 miles?
No, because we play South this year, so I think we'll forget that.
Yeah, we won't do it this year. But again, at Parkhurst tomorrow, 3 o'clock it starts, and it looks like another nice day weather-wise for cross-country tomorrow. Temperatures in the probably low 70s.
Yeah, if we can get those, I know it's nice to have a nice fall, but if we can get them in the 60s, we'd be pretty happy. Just 60s, no wind, sunshine. We'll take those.
We'll take that. Well, you can get that in North Dakota in the fall. It happens.
Oh, yeah. We go, I think last year we went all the way from 95 degrees in Wahpeton to 22 degrees at the state. So it varies. It just, you have to be prepared for anything.
Final question for you. Any surprises yet, or is this team running the way you expected, or is it too early really to put your finger on anything?
I think they're running up to their potential, and that's basically what I want. I can see in every athlete, I pretty much know what to expect out of them and what they're going to get. Their expectations might be a little higher, but sometimes you look at the whole athlete and their athletic ability and how much they're willing to put themselves on the line. But yeah, I might get surprises every once in a while at meets, but yeah, they're just working hard, and whatever happens, happens.
Sure.
Like I said, you never know what's going to happen from the time you start until you finish. We had one athlete step in a hole, roll her ankle. It's just weird things sometimes.
Right.
And then sometimes everybody finishes and they're all happy. I don't know.
Just depends.
Yeah, you just got to take care of yourself so you can do the endurance.
All right. Well, tomorrow again, they have the duel with Jamestown at Parkhurst Recreational Area, 3 o'clock. And then so maybe head over to Jamestown and watch cross country again. That'll be a fun duel with the Blue Jays. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach Deb Bilkey joining us from Highlander Cross Country. Back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highliner Activity Network on our new day and time here Thursday mornings here from the Hack. And now joining us, Coach Travis Engen from the Valley City Highliner football team. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
If I have donuts, would you want me to bring donuts next?
That would work out real well.
Okay.
The players would probably like that too.
Yeah, I might have to bring some donuts for us next week. One game in, and Lisbon. I guess the question first off is Lisbon seems to be in the years I've been in this area a running team. Yeah. They came out and threw the ball a little bit.
The quarterback did a real nice job.
Yeah.
Right. He moved around the pocket real well. We did get some pressure, but we couldn't get to him. And give him credit, right?
Yeah.
He moved around just well enough, and the receivers kept running, and they got open, right? There was times that, we should have got to him, we didn't, So, yeah, their quarterback did really well.
I know one of the positives I picked out of the game that I saw, you did get some pressure. I know Scott Rody had a couple of 2-3 tackles for losses. He's very quick off the ball, it seems like.
Yeah, Scott does a nice job, right? He's a 3-year starter. He does everything. He goes to camps every year over the summer, and you can tell, right? It just shows that when you put in the time and the effort, you're going to get rewarded. And Scott does. He gets rewarded very well, and he's done a great job.
Offensively, it just really didn't get into that rhythm, did you?
Yeah, we watch film over and over and over again, and you can pick it apart pretty easily. I think part of the biggest thing that we weren't fluid. That was probably the biggest thing, and we just got to understand the speed of the game. Some of those young guys, and we had a little trouble against Jamestown in the scrimmage. I thought we kind of fixed that up, and I told the coaches this week we got to clean it up. And we got to, get the players to understand what we want. And so, the rule of thumb is, do you dumb it down, or how do you handle things, and make sure the players know? Because we talk about it. We can have all the knowledge in the world as coaches, but if the players don't understand it, it doesn't do us any good. So this week we went back to the basics a little bit and kind of made it so they're not thinking.
Sure.
That's the whole idea, that they're just out there playing. And Devil's Lake's going to give us one heck of a game. I mean, they're going to come with 5-man, 6-man pressures, and they got some big boys. Their nose guard is all of 6'7", 300, and so that'll be a fun contest for us.
The offensive line, is that one play where it's like, okay, we really got to shore up that offensive line because there was a little bit of pressure coming in?
Yeah, and once again, there was just a mistake here or there, and some people could say first game jitters, but a lot of those guys, that ain't their first game.
No.
So we just got to clean it up.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest thing. Clean it up and understand you got to go. And so that's what we worked on this week, right? I mean, everybody did to understand this is what we wanted to look like. And we just kept repping it until they get it down.
Almost good that you had that first game on the road. Now you get a home game, and the guys are excited for that first game at Hannah Field now.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's the thing. It's always nice to play at home. It really is, So, yeah, they're excited against Devil's Lake. It's going to be a great contest on tomorrow night at 7. So we'll see how we can do.
And we usually have some pretty good matchups with Devil's Lake.
Yeah, we really do. Last year it was back and forth. We had a nice lead, and then we kind of said, they came back, and we did have a nice job. And they got a really good team. Their quarterback is just as good as what we saw the previous week. So he's an excellent quarterback, and they do a real nice job out there.
And I think they still have 2 games. Do they? I think they have one game in hand coming into this week.
Yeah, they played Central Cass the first game, and then they had Watford City the previous game, or last week, I should say. And so they're 1-1, and they, I watched the Central Cass game. I was at the game, and they made some first game jitter mistakes.
Yeah.
But they drove the ball in Central Cass, and they had every opportunity to win that game. There's no doubt about it. And then they went and played Watford City, which Coach Dooley has a little different offense, so they had to completely change everything. So it's a quick turnaround for them also. So, and now we get them at home, so there's a little bit of advantage for us on that.
The same type of offense that you saw at Lisbon, or a little bit different philosophy?
Well, they what they want to do on offense, of course, just like everybody else, is run the ball.
Right.
The game against Central Cass, they were forced to throw a little bit because they were behind. But they just want to run the ball, right? They just want to pound. They got a real good running back. Their quarterback is a weapon in himself, right?
Yep.
So it's almost like when they have to use them, they'll use them, And then they're, the Worth kid for them, he's all of 6'5", 6'6". He does a real nice job as a wide receiver. So we got to make sure we can cover him on everything, because that's their weapon. You know, they want to throw it at him. There's no doubt about it. They got other guys, but that's their guy.
You still have to worry about the Highlanders, obviously. I mean, you know, you got film, you've seen Devil's Lake, you know what they're going to bring, but now you got to say, all right, we got to worry about what we're going to do. And are you guys confident that you had a good week of practice and they're ready to step it up?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, it was a real good week of practice. We had a JV game, and they did beat the Devil's Lake C squad. You know, so that was a nice showing for our guys that went out there in everything. And yeah, we did have a good week of practice. There's no doubt about that. So the guys are ready to play.
And it's going to be a beautiful night. It's about 70 degrees, perfect night for football.
Yeah.
And so home opener at Hannah Field tomorrow, Coach, and Devil's Lake. This is the next important game. I think you and I always talk about the important game is the next game.
Right, exactly.
And now it's the Firebirds here tomorrow night. Well, we got one under the belt, Devil's Lake tomorrow night. Coach, appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again.
Sounds good, thanks.
You bet. That is Coach Travis Ing, and joining us from the Highlander football team. We'll be back, wrap things up here from Coach's Corner from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, and again, new time and new day for Coach's Corner. You can now see us at 7:30 on Thursday mornings, and so you have your coffee and watch Coach's Corner, and then we will have these each and every Thursday morning throughout the rest of the season here from the Hack. Well, again, football tomorrow night. Our next broadcast will be coming up. And again, to find out what we do have scheduled, what we're going to have on the Highlander Activity Network, just go to YouTube. And if you have not already subscribed, just go ahead and subscribe, and free subscription. Get on there and be a subscriber, and check out Valley City Highlander Activities. And we have a list of all the games that we're going to have on there, what our schedule is going to be upcoming. If you want to get out and about tonight, there is again going to be junior high football at 4:30 this afternoon at Hannah Field, as the Highlanders will be taking on Devil's Lake. 7th graders at 4:30, 8th graders at 5:30, and then we also have, of course, Highlander football against the Firebirds tomorrow night. 7 o'clock kickoff, and we'll hit the air around 6:45 with the pregame 7 o'clock kickoff from Hannah Field tomorrow night. Well, I want to thank our camera person and producer here today, Rain Nelson, also Brian Krewald, and, of course, you joining us here on this Thursday morning. We'll see you again next week at 7:30 with Coach's Corner from the Hack here on the Highlander Activity Network.